The milk is being stolen through the fence. The eggs are being stolen through the fence. It was difficult working with these people.
I didn't know I was brought to a council office to avail a vacancy for a friend to the VC.
The way they are behaving, you can't even drink water with them.
A section of residents in Nandi County have expressed concern over spirited attempts by what they claim as external forces to interfere in the running and management of the University of Eastern Africa, Barton.
Demons have tried to destroy us in the YouTube, in the Facebook, in the social media.
So when you see things being written, know that the devil is at work.
Welcome to the heart of storm, where truth battles deception. My name is Lekishon Laban, and this is the journey to uproot the deep-rooted corruption and mismanagement of our cherished church-run institutions. March 15th, 2022. A YouTube video titled UEAB Rogue Stewardship gained immense traction on a newly established channel named Integrity Center ICTV. It sent shockwaves through the digital realm, exposing the underbelly of the management by trying to unravel a web of corruption allegations and mismanagement, but resistance won. It was an ongoing investigative story covering the complex challenges facing our Seventh-day Adventist church-run institutions, with the University of Eastern Africa, Barton as a focal point. UEAB Rogue Stewardship video was an introduction to a documentary meant to expose the mismanagement allegations spanning the times of Vice-Chancellors Dr. Nathaniel Walemba, Professor Miriam Mwita, and the current one, Professor Philip Mayo. Years of witnessing financial struggles and institutional mismanagement fueled my determination to expose the truth. From my days as a student leader and contributing as an Adventist family member, a call we made for change fell on deaf ears. We are back to tell you what happened. We are back with a full documentary spotlighting the current regime of Professor Philip Mayo. Despite numerous complaints from students, faculty and staff about his leadership style, incompetence and corruption allegations, we are uncovering why the top church leadership has continued to remain silent, dismissing the accusations as baseless. This was the journey to the release of March 15th, 2022 UEAB Rogue Stewardship video. A Facebook post by Kevin Nyamiaka, a communications worker in the university, on October 21st, 2021, promoting the university's fund drive to finance the ongoing projects, faced some public scrutiny from a vocal group of students and alumni. Questions on financial accountability on previously stalled projects were being raised before the administration asks for any other money from the public. The engagement here resembled a public forum where stakeholders expressed views. As an informed insider investigating various issues, I also posted criticisms highlighting corruption allegations, nepotism, and family-oriented employment practices within our church-run institutions, with Barton just as an epitome. The dissent wasn't confined to external voices. faculty and staff members within the university opposed the fund drive's presentation, especially coming during the COVID-19 pandemic, when pay cuts were prevalent. In a memo dated February 9, 2022, faculty members were compelled to pay a 30% of their 1-month basic salary deducted directly from their accounts. In this screenshot of a WhatsApp group of the staff and faculty, dissatisfaction was palpable. A staff member staunchly opposed deductions, emphasizing that giving should be voluntary. However, the Vice-Chancellor responded assertively, warning against confusing and emphasizing the unanimous decision. Any opposition was encouraged to be submitted in writing, in what some faculty and staff members reveals that is a move that often leads to disciplinary actions and potential backlash. Amidst the growing opposition and public discourse surrounding the fund drive, shockingly, my posts and comments were taken down and forwarded to the Criminal Investigation Department, DCI, in Kapsabet for scrutiny.
Corruption, tribalism, and turning charges here in funded entities. We still and the crossbars and does happen in Gomanan. Here, Yambia Manana Dafa. One of them started out well and a Zimmer. Nabella Zimmer, which form of corruption is this? So on a Takaji. Doesn't do the way doesn't do DNA as a corruption to go up and the gun. Why do you say there is corruption in the child? There is citing examples. I don't think this is the right place for me to cite example. We have a process. Do you think when you are having an investigation, you're writing, you just go like up here or in past posting, tuambie kila kitu hapa or DCI goes soon, kuja chama evidence zako zote is that application tools. Unafanya media house gana?
TV47.
When I get the contact of production manager. You
know, maybe I'm under the news, so I can give you media news.
But that one follows under production. You know, that production and that. So these are some that we have in profusing. I this deals with production.
This is not production. This is my personal document. And it's not going to TV.
This goes to media.
Yes, and it's my personal.
Now you are my personal.
Yes.
When I talk with you, I'm doing a freelance show.
No, I'm not.
Things you have to own.
Yes.
You have to want this document.
Yes, this is my document.
Yes, you have to.
Yes.
You have to know where
yes.
You have to own the document.
The document is mine. I'm saying it, Jim. What I'm telling you is...
Let the production.
See, production in a newsroom.
But on our wasn't there again.
Because I don't belong to the production department.
When you are running the document.
Yeah, that's my document. A private investigation. It's not attached to my TV station. It's like a private book publication.
So when you are doing this, you find out where will you organization? This one, this organization with Sony. There is an investigation there.
There is time to tell them.
Because we are not dealing with your department. We are dealing now with this one.
With this university.
I will go back why they went there.
No, hakuna mtu ana.
This is your own.
It's my own. Hakuna mtu ataniambia to investigate me.
Later, I faced the lockdown and barred from entering the university premises. The university chief security had to permit my entry.
Sasa? Ni aje? Ai bwana, mimi si nimekuwa hata na koriri jana usiku hapa ndani ya university.
Ile mtu alikupea ruhusa. Unajua wacha nikwambie.
Ruhusa gani?
Sikiza hii ni Lekishon tuelewane na wewe unajua.
Ruhusa gani?
Ruhusa ya kuingia university ni tafadhali. Usiingie hapa university bila idhini.
Idhini ya nani?
Kubwa.
Jana si tumekuwa na wewe?
No, si uliitwa. Niliuliza Meto akasema amekuita.
So, alafu
kuongea lakini
leo nimeenda kumtafuta kwa sababu alisema tuonane leo, sijampata. Nimeenda kwa ofisi yake. Sijampata, nimeenda kununua mkate, nimenunua mkate nirudi Nairobi.
Hapo mazishi.
Sasa kama tulielewana ndio tukutane na hajashika simu na hatujakutana. Hapo mazishi. Where is the problem?
lakini the CEO, the university
CEO what?
I was later called by the university public relations officer, Joseph Meto, in his office. I realized he was as well concerned about my investigations and the publication's plan.
Huyu jamaa akona almost 1 year. Aende.
He will still no, it's not about helping an individual here. Leaders have told you, you are not going to be the PRO here forever. You will go. And others have been there before. The purpose of such a case study or a report is for future corrections.
Kwa sababu ile kitu najua atakuuliza umekuwa employed na nani? Easy results itasaidia nini?
Yes. Sinisha kuambia. You don't have to be employed to do the right thing.
The PRO exhibited sense of suspicion concerning the university farm scandal investigations and attempted to navigate around the topic in an effort to seek clarifications.
Hata kila siku anasemanga hivyo ya kwamba wakati kile alikuwa farm manager analeta list ya ng'ombe ambayo inatakiwa kuwa disposed. Hiyo list inaletwa kwa board inapitishwa. Sile ng'ombe zenye zinatoka nje ni tofauti na hizi yenye zimewekwa. Lakini ilifika wakati tukasema we want facts.
This is the tip of an iceberg on what has been happening at the university farm that led to its current dead situation, as we had reported in our previous UEAB Rogue Stewardship Expose.
Let's take our focus to the university farm, one of the greatest auxiliary enterprises that could earn the university millions. But due to negligence and corruption at the farm, a former farm manager quantifies a loss here at 100,000 Kenya shillings a day at the farm due to low production caused by corruption deals. This, as you can see, is the picture of the farm. Granted, there is some effort. However, by and large, the farm is neglected and is now looking like an abandoned bush. The university now buys vegetables, tomatoes, and even onions from other vendors. How do we complain of financial challenges when we purchase food items that UEAB can comfortably produce and sell to the community? The land is vast, underutilized and mismanaged. Interesting to note that we offer both degree and diploma in agricultural courses, and yet we cannot apply what we are teaching. Yet 3 years ago, during the same period and season, the farm was full with tomatoes, cabbages and other kienyeji vegetables. There was so much more that trucks could come here to get their supplies. And this will shock you. Baraton had so much supplies that we could not finish by eating or selling. Poor and destitute women at the Baraton Center would benefit from this excess. What happened, you may ask? You would think the farm manager was commended and appreciated. No, the farm manager was sacked. Yes, fired. What was his mistake? He stopped the theft that was going on here. Connected people were benefiting from a non-functional farm. It was their avenue to supply goods to the university. When the previous farm manager stopped these and other cases of theft, he had crossed the red line. He had to go.
From one of the first students of the university at its inception in 1980s, to the agriculture department lecturer, then to the university farm manager, our witness provides insights into the corruption, tribal discrimination and harassment he faced while attempting to restore integrity and revive the farm's greatness.
Nilianza vibaya Kwa sababu nilipofika, the farm had no strategic plan in place. The farm had no budget in place. Alafu kwa ufupi ni kwamba sikuwa na chochote cha kurithi. Punde tu nimebomoa trakta, Kiro akakuja. Kaniambia mambo machafu sana. Nilipata matusi sijasikia tangu nizaliwe. Na nikakula barua ya kwanza. Shokos letter. Yeah.
Kwamba makosa ni?
Makosa ni kwamba kazi ya urekebishaji wa machinery sio kazi yangu. Then nikawa nauliza, I'm the farm manager. Kama nimepewa kazi ya farm manager, I thought the machines are under me. Na ikafika mahali sasa mambo ya ukabila ikaja ndani. VC na Kiro wakija kwa farm wanauliza, wapi Mluya? So mpaka ikafika mahali nikamuuliza VC, nikamwambia, mimi ni farm manager, mimi si Mluya. Hey, kama unakuja kutafuta Mluya, I'm not the one. Then I refused to attend to them. The moment I leave the farm, it was a looting spree. Now Kiro would come in now to ferry whatever he wants to ferry out. The milk is being stolen through the fence. The eggs are being stolen through the fence. It was difficult working with these people. All the animals that we refer to as culls, the non-performing animals that we had identified and set aside. Now Kiro, and I assume with the blessings of the VC, they would come and remove the ear tags of these condemned animals and put them on the best performing animals. So now when it comes now to the disposal of the animals, you know you are disposing of the good animals because you are going with the tag number and leaving the non-performers. And this was now the final nail in the coffin between me and them, I said, over my dead body. I'm told the animals that are put on the list of the condemned animals to be culled off were used to remove the performing animals. Now the sensitive bit. On the farm we use farm inputs for both livestock and crops production. But I had a problem. I had just to have the feed sourced where Kiro wanted it sourced. And on top of this, whenever they delivered, the quantities were lower than the orders. Yeah. And now my problem with the Kiro and the VC came in because I refused some of the deliveries because it was not totaling to what we had ordered for. Yeah. Number two, the cost of these feeds was higher than on the market. Then I was asking, what's so special about these feeds? What is so special about these inputs?
You have a direct link of what it did to the farmer?
Yes, I have direct link because every time I had a problem with the Kiro, because we reached a time and I told the VC, I cannot work with the Kiro. The next thing that would happen, he would come back and tell me, you know, you have got to respect Kiro as your boss. Say, but if he's telling me to do what I think ethically is not right, then you don't expect me to do it. And he told me, do you know I'm the VC? Yeah. When you see Kiro telling you something, I have said it. Okay. The other case example I gave you, when I removed the thieving stuff from the dairy, he brought them back himself. Yes, that's direct. I would requisition for fuel to the farm. And when the fuel comes to the farm, Kiro would follow and carry it away in jerrycans. And we went to meetings. I even went to the VC himself because I told him, I can't work with Kiro anymore. And he told me, be coming straight to me. And I would go to his office and tell him now. Yesterday he carried away 120 liters of fuel. He tells me, just forget about that one. The other day he has taken 2 batteries from the tractors. The tractors are grounded. Raise another requisition. So, what do I say? And Kiro is the pain in the muscles or in the ass of Baraton University.
we uncover a web of corruption at the university farm, tractor purchasing scandals, theft of farm products, procurement irregularities. The farm became a breeding ground for unethical practices. He also tried to defend nepotism and the Kapol University board, saying they did not intend to have families in the board. A meeting designed to investigate the motive of my investigations turned to be an opportunity to grill him on nepotism.
When allegations come out, like the board is full of couples, is it true or not true?
That one is true. For example, family yangu, mimi ni corporate affairs, madam ni registrar. Si kila mtu anafanya kazi yake.
Was it a coincidence or?
No. Si alifanya hiyo kazi mpaka akapendwa. So unaweza jipata kama uko ndani lakini hujui ulifikaje ndani. Aya tukuje kwa kwa Jibrani. Mama alikuja akakuwa human resource. Jibirango akakuwa head of department. Baadaye akapromotiwa akawa dean. Sasa baadaye rola akaenda. Jibirango akajipata akiwa kwa graduate school. Baadaye
hii kujipata inanga process. Hii kujipata kunanga process, mtu anajipata tu.
Iko process, lakini unajipata kama umetafuta.
Hiyo process haina moral considerations and
for example kwa familia yangu. Wakati mama alipokuja kumsaidia registrar, nikaambia VC wakati board inakutana kama vile inakutana sasa hivi. Mimi siendi. Kwa sababu kulingana na ethics. Hiyo itakuwa ni family issue.
Now you are talking about ethical issues, ethical and moral issues. What I'm talking about, yeah.
So hata kwa kazi mimi siendi.
Wewe umeona it's not ethical.
Yes.
Wengine wamefanya hiyo.
Yes. So Jibrani aendi, mama ndiye anaenda kwa sababu
is that but he still holds the position that he's supposed to be at the board.
Yes, kwa sababu ana in acting capacity kwa.
So he holds an office that he does not attend functions of the office.
So ile kitu anafanya agenda yake inaenda kwa BC.
So he just lacks physical appearance, but he's operating that office that is supposed to be in the boardroom.
Yes.
If we say that, I know.
From that time, I was never allowed to step into the university, and what followed is why I released the March 15th, 2022 UEAB Rogue Stewardship Expose video. I had attempted to discuss issues I was investigating with Dr. Andrew Mutero, the Director of Education in the East and Central Africa Division territory of the SDA Church, seeking his side of the story. Revelations of potential hacking of my phone, possibility of harm, and the church's powerlessness to address integrity issues emerged.
So ndio nilikuwa nakwambia ndugu yangu, ukikaka hapo barau na hapa hivi ni vile utapatikana hapo kwenye kichaka. So niliposikia zimeletwa na BC, nikasema pengine ni vitu vya raba nimekuwa leaked hapa, nimekuwa leaked kwa aisha simu zako hazikui tapped, sababu ni kama unajua vile umeniambia hiyo story imekuwa tu ni kama vile story ni kama hiyo story ni kama ni vile ndielezwa. Sasa raba aisha utachinjwa bwana. Aisha utachinjwa maana ndio nasema ndugu yangu baba, just be very 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 careful, sababu unaona hizi vitu ukiona watu wakiziwacha hizi madoisi ya corruption na nini ndio nasema the whole principle vile Yesu alisema kwamba wacha wita zikuwe pamoja. There's nothing you can do regulating people's behavior. and integrity. There's not, you can't do it.
A week later, it became apparent that an interview I conducted with a senior figure in the church working at the university had fallen into the hands of the vice-chancellor. They subjected him to a disciplinary process, firing him on grounds that in our interview he had spoken negative issues about the chancellor, who is also the ECD president. Similar grounds were raised in a defamation suit following the UEAB rogue stewardship expose. But the interview had a lot and full of very sensitive information. Why then did they choose only on the part he spoke about the chancellor to fire him? We will uncover. Was the education director aware of my recorded interviews interceptions in his hint? It is still a mystery. We are establishing that the university administration was aware of my long-time investigations. They intercepted my privately recorded conversations, resisted the right of reply, threatened some sources, spreading fear to the rest. That is why the March 15th, 2022 UEAB rogue stewardship video had to come out at that time. Look at this story, for instance.
In 2013, the Worldwide SDA Church did a fundraiser for Baraton International School. The building that you're seeing here, to a large extent, that money did not achieve what it was intended for. 3 years later, in 2016, the third quarter of the year, there was this report in the following mission statement with the following words. The words are an appreciation for the successful fundraiser. The picture of the constructed building is then attached. The problem is the building that is attached is not Baraton International School. It was not constructed with the funds that were received. So what the university leadership did, they took a picture of a different building, the community center funded by USAID, and claimed that it was the completed school building. Was it an accidental error? This is a question of character. It is wrong, fraudulent, and even criminal. The question is, has the mindset and the character of the leadership changed? Recently, after many eyebrows, including online discussions, the administration pushed to finish up the building, but this is where pupils have been struggling from. Now, the new look of the building is this.
Following this video, the culprits initiated a public relations exercise using the press and accomplices to portray the university as wrongly targeted by former employees and politicians. In their PR, they played a tribal card and praising Mayo over a surge of student enrollment, which many know it's fact about the government-sponsored students since 2016.
We used to have less numbers. Now we have numbers that overwhelm us. I can assure everybody that's listening to know that the university is on the right course. Things are done well, and whatever is happening is normal. Whenever you are doing any building, there must be noise.
A section of residents in Nandi County have expressed concern over spirited attempts by what they claim as external forces to interfere in the running and management of the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton.
A section of residents in Nandi County have expressed concerns over attempts by former employees of Nandi-based University of Eastern Africa, Baraton, and some politicians to frustrate the running and management of the university. According to the residents, drastic measures need to be taken owing to a wide scheme of spread falsehood about the institution in a bid to antagonize the institute.
There's been a lot of developments. Being a stakeholder from outside, you could see the tarmac, you could see the enrollment of the students, you could see the infrastructure, You could see the farm developments.
Kama kuna mtu mwenye anataka kuharibu shule, sisi tukua community tunachunga shule yetu kwa sababu imeleta mabadiliko kwa kijiji.
Mtu anaposema kwamba kuna ubaya yote tunaona ama kutumia jina ya community vibaya, sisi tumesimama tukikuwa viongozi kwamba tunakanusha hiyo maneno na kusema hatuna shida na shule, bali tunaenjoy kuwa na uhusiano bora katika university yetu ya Baraton.
One speaker here is today the member of County Assembly, MCA, and another one was later hired back to work for the university. Some who were compelled to speak reached out to me, revealing in their coercion even after participating in the public relations exercise. Now, this is how the court case came in. As public interest surged and the video gaining more attention, Muthoni Maina, the voiceover artist behind the story, notified me of the court orders. Muthoni Maina was excited to share the story, and she had tweeted about it, leading to the discovery of her identity. The court order was delivered to her TV47 address as the story producer remained anonymous initially. The producer was to remain anonymous because this documentary part was on an intervention mission to deal with how the culprits intercepted and hacked my phone, getting a crucial interview information about the scandals they were implicated. And who are the complainants? They are Professor Philip Mayo, appearing as the first plaintiff and describes himself as a renowned scholar and an academician and the current Vice-Chancellor of the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. The second plaintiff is Christopher Misoi, describing himself as a renowned man of God with roots within the community and has served in various capacities within the Seventh-day Adventist Church, including as the President of the Great Rift Valley Conference, Executive Director of the Western Kenya Field, Executive Director of Western Kenya Conference, and Executive Director of Great Rift Valley Conference, and equally a University Council member of the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. While Philip Mayo and Christopher Misoi presently lead the university and the church and are featured in the initial expose of UEAB Rogue Stewardship, they retain their rights to legal redress. However, the third plaintiff, Philemon Birechi, enters the court case process in a dubious manner. We are establishing that Philemon Birechi, a previously dismissed church pastor embroiled in scandals, maintains influential ties within the church hierarchy and has by now been reinstated. The inclusion of Birechi in this court case sparks further inquiry. This documentary scrutinizes his role contributing to the unfolding scandal. The three plaintiffs had all sought the legal service of one firm, the Swaka Advocates, and by the time of this case, we inform you that Mwaha John Swaka, associated with Swaka Advocates, popularly known by dealing with criminal cases than civil cases like this, was having an inactive practicing status for the year 2022, at least by the time of our legal battle. The first respondent, a distinguished pastor, held a leadership role in the university. The defamation lawsuit stems from a published story in which he was not featured. Details will be revealed about why he was dragged into the case despite not being quoted or implicated in the published story. His ordeals in the hands of the culprits serve as a statement to concerted efforts made to instill fear and silence, ensuring that investigations into their scandals remained concealed. With court orders at hand, they went swift. The orders were displayed on the university posters, and warnings circulated against releasing documents and discussing matters with me. All Several front office workers were warned on even interacting with me, and the security guards told to keep the orders of my university entry restrictions. Some students who made positive comments on UEAB Rogue Stewardship expose faced a serious probe, creating an atmosphere of fear and suppression.
Vile shule ilikuwa imeambiwa umefanya hiki, umefanya kile, umefanya kile. Sasa nao sasa wakasema si watu wakuja hata waongee kudepend shule kwa sababu ilikuwa imewekelewa uchafu. Sio nasikia? Sasa wakaongea kwa media.
So mimi pia.
Sasa wewe ukakomenti bana. Aje usomeo.
Which account are you reading from?
Aje usomeo.
No.
Wasikiliza tu.
So that moment uliongea. You went ahead ya kuniambia kwamba you can reach me even kwa njia nyingine. Na hata ukaenda ya kwamba ukaipeleka ya kwamba it can go even to close my school account. Sizo. So, yani ifikapo that far.
Kwa sababu ya hii kitu.
Ifikapo that far.
After denying me a student status, where the registrar said that she was under strict instructions not to allow me to register for my remaining studies due to my issues with the university leadership, a calculated legal maneuver to silence the story completely seen. Even attempts to restrict my freedom of movement are made. They claimed that we, the respondents, had committed a contempt of court with hallucinations that the UEAB Rogue Stewardship expose video was still running in my YouTube channel and all my other social media platforms. Within a mere 48 hours after I was granted a visa for my usual summer job in Norway, they sought orders to restrict my travel. Their application sought draconian measures, including requesting the court to order us, the respondents, to be summoned to show cause why we should not be committed to civil jail. And so they asked the court to commit us to the civil jail for contempt and disobedience of the orders. They specifically wanted the court to direct the second respondent, that is me, to deposit my passport and all the travel documents with the court pending hearing and the determination of their application. As if local machinations were insufficient, efforts to suppress dissent and impede investigations extended beyond domestic domain. They further tried to interfere with the Norwegian book publishing students program I worked for during summers, from which we had just received our work permit visas, to indirectly stop my travel. I had also received admission to further my studies in Norway. Despite my clear purpose of travel, which they knew, they still labeled me as a flight risk in court. My lawyer cautioned against their rapid pursuit of multiple orders before allowing any response, hinting at the possibility of orders being influenced by undisclosed motivations. Luckily, their overspeeding towards gagging us was stopped by the transfer of Honorable D.W. Mburu, the magistrate handling our case, from the Milimani commercial courts in Nairobi. The perplexing request for my travel documents to be deposited in court raises questions, particularly in light of this being treated as a criminal case rather than civil. Amidst threats, attacks, and even a sinister poisoning plot, I found refuge in Norway, forewarned and safely settled. Despite all this turmoil, the university held a prayer session dedicated to invoking divine intervention against what they perceived as an assault by the devil.
Now, Lord, we pray and ask you that there are many demons that would want to take us to the fire of destruction, the water to drown us. And today, in the name of Jesus, we rebuke the demons.
That you may cast the demons,
oh yes,
that are troubling all of us.
Demons
have tried to destroy us. In the YouTube, in the Facebook, in the social media, in the news, Lord, you have set aside this ground.
The struggle for truth continues. About 2 years later, I have continued to monitor their moves. It is alleged, for instance, that around October 2022, they released money approximated to be 500,000 Kenyan shillings, headed to bribe courts to make a ruling over the same. We have crafted 10 episodes covering various scandals and history of the downfall of Baraton, but much of that information is subject to the forthcoming book. This documentary is scrutinizing Mayo's leadership of about 9 years as a Vice-Chancellor at the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton. Has Philip Mayo succeeded in reviving Baraton University as it was expected? What is the nature of his leadership? Why is he defended by the top church leadership despite the widespread allegations of his incompetence and corruption? Why is silence prevailing at the face of the ongoing turmoil at the university? Is Baraton University on an upward or a downward trajectory? How do corruption and leadership disputes within the church affect the church-run institutions? The following are the issues we narrowed down to focus on as introduced by the aborted UEAB Rogue Stewardship Expose. Number 1, the university farm scandal, featuring mismanagement and corruption allegations. 2, the Kapseret University land conspiracy. Some university administrators and church leaders are accused of orchestrating a fake farm rescue mission to funnel millions into their pockets. Number 3, tribalism, nepotism and witch hunting, victimizing people for space to employ friends, family members and relatives. Number 4, Vice-Chancellor Philip Mayo's academic qualification inquiry. Number 5, church politics and wrangles, examining the impact of church politics and the internal politics on the university and its functioning. In part 2, we shall show you how the cartels exist in our church leadership, and a plan was forged, a university council convinced, and millions of money released in a fake land rescue mission. Rogue Stewardship, unveiling the truth, promises to bring you face to face with a shocking reality of how our sacred institutions are mismanaged. This is not just an expose. It is an awakening call for justice. It is a demand for accountability. Lekishon Laban, ICTV.